Professor Isaac Dizeroth. You were once the shining star of Candlekeep's School of Arcane Arts, a master of chronology whose discoveries shook the very foundation of magical thought. Students bowed in reverence, your name echoed throughout the halls, and your reputation seemed destined for immortality. But when your son, Corwin, was lost to the Nine Hells, the grief tore through your family. The strain proved unbearable, and though your wife tried to endure, the two of you eventually separated, both knowing you were to blame for what has become of him. Your son was gifted, brilliant in ways that even you, a master of the arcane, could scarcely deny. From childhood, his talent for magic outshone his peers, and with every spell he perfected, his hunger for your recognition only deepened. And then came the day that would haunt you forever. You stood upon the court of air when Corwin strode forth, his body alight with stolen might, every inch of him throbbing with arcane power beyond mortal ken. His eyes glowed with manic pride as he called for you to witness his triumph. For a heartbeat, you saw in him the prodigy you had always known, and then hubris claimed him. The magic surged, unstable, tearing him apart in a flash of light and sound. His body was sundered in an explosion that scarred the court of air, leaving a smoking crater where he once stood. Dozens were injured, and the tale of Candlekeep's tragedy echoed across the Sword Coast for weeks to come. Only one life was lost, your son's, but it was enough to damn you. Yet, even death was not release. For in his desperation, he had sought powers elsewhere. It was Asmodeus that had whispered promises of knowledge and greatness into his ear, of a legacy that would surpass your own. Your son accepted the Lord of the Nine Hells' bargain, damning his soul in exchange for the recognition you withheld. Now you carry the crushing weight of knowing your pride drove him to damnation. Oricai Sombra. You were born in the Underdark, into a house ruled by cruelty. Your parents were devout to the Spider Queen, pitting their children against one another in endless strife. In a brood of 17, only one bond mattered, your twin, Neris. The two of you clung to each other for survival. From a young age, you showed talent for magic, wild and untamed, warped by the Phaserus. Where others saw danger, you saw fascination, a power to be bent to your will. With charm and cunning, you learned to twist the world's expectations, playing roles, masking truths, turning gender and identity into tools to slip past notice or command respect. But through it all, Neris was your heart, protector and confidant, healer and companion. Together, you escaped the Underdark, carved a life on the surface, and forged bonds as adventurers. You dreamed of one day retiring side by side at peace. That dream was stolen. Ambushed by servants of an old enemy, Neris was slain. His body disintegrated, denied resurrection. In your grief, vengeance consumed you. You did not simply kill those responsible, you tortured them for days, reveling in their pain, until the line between justice and cruelty was gone. And when death finally claimed you, it was not Lolth who answered your sins, but Asmodeus. Your soul was dragged screaming into the Nine Hells. Now you live again, but only in body. The diviners of Halrua have resurrected you for a purpose. Aid them in their dire task, and in return, they promise a way to reclaim your damned soul. Juniper Applebottom. They called you the voice of the wilds. When a distant village was plagued by starving wolves, you did not meet them with blade or bow. You found one alone, spoke to it, listened to its story of hunger and loss. You showed the village that the wolves were not monsters, only driven from their home. You brought peace, and from that day forward, your name carried weight. The druid who could bridge the wild and the civilized with nothing more than compassion and courage. But no voice, no magic, no wisdom could tame the fury of your own child. From the day he could walk, your son was difficult, impulsive, volatile, prone to sudden bursts of violence. Trouble followed him like a shadow, and you learned early on how to restrain him before he hurt others. but when his rage took hold, anyone close by risked being struck, even you. Still, he was your child, and your love for him never faltered, no matter how hard he made it. As Buck grew older, his temper deepened into something darker. Fights left real scars, and he began running with a dangerous crowd. The bond between you stretched thin, but never broke. Then came the worst blow. Word reached you that your son had sealed his fate by signing an infernal contract with Asmodeus, binding his soul to the 9 hells. Part of you knows he brought this on himself, yet he is still your son, and for that reason you will not abandon him, and so you have descended into the 9 hells to remind him he is loved.